The LGM-30 Minuteman was the world's first solid-fueled intercontinental ballistic missile, adopted by the US military in 1962. To transport it, Boeing, GMC, and Cessna aircraft jointly developed a unique vehicle, the KT loader. Welcome to a new video. If you enjoy this type of content, subscribe to our channel. It's free. Now let's get started. This vehicle was designed to allow the Minuteman rocket to be transported on public roads with minimal special permits. This requirement led to the KT loader's unusual design, featuring a very low cab positioned beneath a massive trailer. This trailer, with a total volume of 227 cubic meters and a height of 4 meters, was the responsibility of Boeing and Cessna specialists. They designed a hydraulic drive system capable of lifting the trailer with the rocket to a vertical position, as well as a system for installing the missile in the launch silo. It is noteworthy that the container was equipped with a Trane-produced climate control unit, which allowed the internal temperature to be regulated according to weather conditions. On the other hand, GMC engineers were responsible for the 4-axle, 12-wheel tractor. They designed, among other things, a unique V12 engine running on gasoline, developing 275 horsepower and 790 Nm of torque with a volume of 11.5 liters. Without missiles, the KT loader could accelerate up to 50 km/h, but of course, when loaded, it moved much slower. As already mentioned, the distinctive feature of the KT loader's design was the low cab located in front of the front wheels and below the trailer. This design, known in English literature as cab under, has a significant advantage over traditional tractors with or without a hood. For a given overall length, it allows for a significant increase in the volume of transported cargo. Overall, it's not surprising that, at some point, this design, obviously inspired by the military, found use in civilian freight transport. And although it ultimately proved to be a dead end in development, the history of ultra-low-weight tractors is no less interesting. Incursion into the civil sphere, the KT loader military transporter was put into operation in 1963. The first civilian tractor of this type, the cab under, appeared as early as 1965 or 1967, according to other sources, and was not American. This vehicle was built by a German company, Boeing, and was called the Supercargo 22,150 Decklaster. The 22 in the name denoted the maximum permissible weight in tons, of which 3 tons corresponded to the weight of the 3-axle tractor itself with 2 steered axles at the front. The 150 indicated the engine power in horsepower. This 4-liter diesel engine was quite unusual. It was called Underfloor, i.e. underground, and was located behind the cab, beneath the chassis, as its 6 cylinders were arranged horizontally. Coupled with an automatic transmission, this Boeing Supercargo Decklaster truck reached a top speed of 80 km/h when fully loaded. The word Decklaster in the name revealed the essence of this machine, as it translates as flatbed truck. This platform, standing at a height of just 1.5 meters, was 3 meters long, and was intended to transport 13 3-foot shipping containers, or several smaller containers. The problem, however, was that precisely during this period, the container shipping industry was undergoing major transformations. On the eve of the transition to a standardized system with 20 or 40-foot sea containers, therefore no potential customer risked placing an order for this innovative German container ship. Negotiations were held with Volkswagen, which appeared to be planning to order 50 copies of the Supercargo Decklaster for use in its factories, but things never progressed beyond negotiations. The Boeing company, founded in 1903, failed to survive the 1960s. In 1971, it was completely taken over by MAN, which showed no interest in developing ideas for flatbed trucks. However, the prototype of the Supercargo Decklaster survived and has survived to this day, being regularly demonstrated at themed exhibitions. The continuity of the concept and new innovations be that as it may, the concept of such trucks wasn't definitively buried along with the Boeing company. It was literally immediately picked up by the New Zealand transport company Car Hauliers. Especially for them, a British company, the once famous Leyland, built 2 unique car transporters on a Leyland Leopard bus chassis. This innovation, which made it possible to move more new cars than conventional car transporters of the time, was spotted in Australia by a large local car dealer named John Baker. By the 1970s, with Toyota car trading more popular than ever, Baker was so wealthy and experienced that he was able to independently develop and build a car transporter called the UFO, underfloor operated. His vehicle was also built on a modified Leopard chassis, but had a completely customized cab and was fitted with a more powerful non-British Detroit diesel 671 engine, mated to an automatic transmission. Baker also developed the world's first car carrier cargo bed conversion system, which, in combination with a cab-under tractor, could carry up to 10 passenger cars at a time without violating the then Australian road traffic regulations. Strick's Undertruck and Steinwinter's Supercargo now. Let's move on to the United States, to Indiana, where the Strick Trailers Company had been operating successfully for a long time. As its name suggests, it was dedicated to the production of trailers and semi-trailers for medium and heavy-duty trucks, but by no means to the production of the trucks themselves. However, in 1974, the company's vice president, Ron Zabko, suggested to its then owner, Sol Katz, that he build a real truck. Not just a simple one, but a super low-weight one that could carry even larger volumes of cargo, even compared to the cab-overs that dominated American roads at the time. Ron Zabko suggested to the boss that they build the lowest tractor in history, one that could pull a trailer of the maximum dimensions allowed by law. 4.11 meters high, 2.44 meters wide, and 16.76 meters long. At first, Sol Katz didn't take the idea seriously. But when he was given a Maserati sports car for his 50th birthday, Katz suddenly realized what Zabko was offering: to build a heavy-duty truck the same height as that Maserati. And so the green light was given to the project, which materialized in 1977 and was given the simple and unpretentious name Strick Undertruck. This machine was based on a chassis with a 14.8-liter turbocharged Cummins V903 diesel engine producing approximately 300 horsepower. Working in conjunction with a 13-speed Fuller transmission, 2 trailers were specially designed for it, one of which sat directly above the tractor, and the second could be used as a rear trailer. The first prototype was a single-seat, 2-axle vehicle. Strick engineers tested it at their own test site, covering a total of approximately 10,000 kilometers. Then, in 1978, the second prototype was born, this time with 2 front-steered axles. The cab now had 2 full seats, and a safety frame was also made from 127 mm thick steel beams. Surprisingly, this 2-seater prototype managed to obtain permission from the National Highway Traffic Safety Agency for admission to road traffic, and began testing under real-life conditions on the roads of Texas and Missouri. It's quite possible that the Strick Undertruck might have found its buyers in conditions of strict restrictions on the overall length of road trains. After all, according to the manufacturer's estimates, while its cost would be only 10% higher than that of an average truck with a conventional trailer, it offered 15% more cargo volume. However, in 1982, federal authorities finally lifted the truck length limit, and American truckers began converting en masse from cab-overs to hooded truck models. And the cab-under, with its obvious safety concerns for the driver, had no chance of survival. The Strick Company immediately sold both prototypes. One remained in the United States in the possession of a private collector, and the other went to Germany, where at some point it was converted into a mobile exhibition stand with a glass container on top. In this form, this unique machine existed until 2019, when the company that owned it declared bankruptcy. The current owner, the KB Towing Company, acquired the German Undertruck and still plans to restore the vehicle to its original condition. Thus, the fate of the Strick Undertruck was sealed in 1982. But what hasn't worked in the United States can probably work in Europe, thought German engineer, inventor, and entrepreneur Manfred Steinwinter. And in 1983 he showed the world a truck of the future, the Steinwinter Supercargo 20.4. To be honest, I haven't been able to find any information about the meaning of the mysterious 20.4 index in the title. This futuristic tractor and its fairly ordinary trailer looked as if they had been built with the support of Mercedes-Benz, and companies such as DAF and Isuzu reportedly showed a lot of interest in it. The dual-axle tractor was only 117 cm high and 2.5 meters wide. To complement the unusual exterior design, it featured a 3-seater cabin, clearly featuring Mercedes elements. For driver comfort, there was not only leather upholstery on the seats, but also a small compartment for storing food and a wardrobe. It also featured climate control. The trailer was 18 meters long, a third of which was positioned directly over the tractor. To get things moving, It was powered by a 380 horsepower Mercedes 440 12 turbo diesel connected to a ZF16 speed gearbox. Incidentally, the Ferrari emblem seen on both the tractor and trailer isn't a Ferrari logo at all, but the coat of arms of Stuttgart, where Steinwinter was headquartered. This same coat of arms can be seen on the Porsche logo. The decline of a concept and unfinished visions being nothing more than a working prototype. The Steinwinter Supercargo 2040 had a daunting array of drawbacks. Its engine overheated, its plastic body panels cracked, its handling was poor, and visibility was limited. But Manfred Steinwinter was certain that all these ailments could be cured. Like Swiss engineer Franco Sbarro, who reinvented the wheel and believed it would change the face of modern car manufacturing, Manfred Steinwinter was a dreamer and sincerely believed his ideas would revolutionize the transportation industry. He dreamed that the Supercargo 2040 could also become the basis for luxury intercity buses, motorhomes, and even mobile healthcare centers. Well, everything went down the drain pretty quickly. The illnesses of Steinwinter's Supercargo, like the American cab Undertruck, were simply buried by changes in legislation. Recall that the main advantage of ultra-low-weight trucks is maximizing the payload volume of the trailer. Precisely for this reason, the entire Supercargo 2040 truck was 18 meters long, the maximum permitted by law. However, Steinwinter barely had time to present its creation and begin its modifications when it became known that new requirements for road trains would come into effect in Europe in 1990. The maximum length of the unit would increase to 18.75 meters, but the trailer length should not exceed 15.65 meters. Thus, the entire concept of a cab Undertruck completely lost its meaning. Steinwinter is said to have tried to promote his idea in China and then the United States, but nothing came of it. The Steinwinter Supercargo 2040 project was abandoned, and the prototype itself disappeared for many years. But literally a few years ago, this incredible truck and its trailer were found. Heavily worn and rusty in places, the Supercargo 20.4 had grown up on an asphalt parking lot on the territory of a private transport company in the German town of Bettringen, not far from Stuttgart. I was even able to find it on Google Maps, where it currently resides. Manfred Steinwinter passed away in 2018, but his work lives on to this day. The website site. He offers to invest in the Steinwinter Kyber 2 project and thus join in the creation of the next truck of the future. The Schneebelmobile and the future of transportation. Our story is nearing its end, but it would be incomplete without mentioning a vehicle with the unofficial name of the cult Schneebelmobile. It exists in only one copy. This engineering marvel was built in the 1980s by a large German company, Köln Spezialfahrzeuge, which specializes in the production and maintenance of special construction equipment. The Schneebelmobile was built for a single purpose: the transport of long oversized items, such as aluminum profiles up to 55 meters long. The tractor was constructed from body elements of a Ford van and a Mercedes mounted on a MAN truck chassis. The Schneebelmobile got its nickname from its permanent driver, who in the 1990s managed to travel more than 500,000 kilometers on European roads, while constantly complaining about the complete lack of comfort and the excessive attention the truck received from pedestrians and other road users. Although the Schneebelmobile is no longer used for its intended purpose, the Köln Spezialfahrzeuge company still owns this incredible machine and is not willing to sell it to anyone. The concept of ultra-low-lift tractors, although not widely used in the freight transport segment, is not yet completely dead. In 2019, Volvo introduced its innovative Vera electric tractor, which completely eliminated the need for a human driver. Furthermore, the entire modern air transport industry is simply unthinkable without the use of special airport tractors, which haven't really advanced that much since that very same Supercargo Decklaster 22,150 from the now defunct Bussing company. We've reached the end of this video. Comment in the comments, like the video, subscribe and tap the bell to enjoy future videos like this one. See you next time.